Korea, the first open battlefield of the Cold War. North backed by the USSR and China, South backed by the US and UN forces. Jet fighters clashed, cities burned, millions displaced. The US feared the domino effect of communism. China feared US troops reaching its border. After 3 years of brutal trench fighting, the war ended exactly where it began. Armistice, not peace. Vietnam, a slow war that turned into a global symbol. North Vietnam, armed and advised by Moscow and Beijing, South backed by Washington with troops, bombers, and cash. It became a mix of jungle combat, ideology, and public protest. Tens of thousands died on both sides. And when the U.S. pulled out, Saigon collapsed. Communism spread, but at extraordinary cost. Angola, a civil war turned Cold War battleground. The USSR and Cuba sent troops, pilots, tanks, and money. The U.S. and South Africa backed the rival faction with weapons and advisors. The conflict dragged on for decades, transforming local politics into global competition. Latin America. The Cold War here was fought through revolutions and coups. In Nicaragua, leftist forces backed by Cuba and the USSR countered by U.S.-funded Contras. In Chile, a government was toppled with foreign involvement. In El Salvador, militias and death squads fought with foreign support. No direct U.S.-USSR battle was seen, but their fingerprints were everywhere. Middle East, superpowers armed their allies instead of invading them. Egypt started Soviet-backed, then switched to U.S. alignment. Syria remained Soviet-armed for decades. Yemen became a testing ground for influence. Iran shifted from Western-backed monarchy to anti-Western theocracy, changing alliances and proxy battles across the region. Southeast Asia and Africa, additional theaters. In Cambodia and Laos, wars tied to Vietnam became proxy fronts. In Congo, leaders were installed or removed with CIA and Soviet help. Where there was conflict, the Cold War was present, not with flags, but with weapons, advisors, and invisible influence. Why proxy wars? Because the U.S. and USSR both had nuclear weapons. A direct war risked mutual destruction, so they fought indirectly, letting other nations absorb the violence. Influence was gained without triggering World War III human cost. Millions died in wars they did not start. Nations were destroyed not because of their own rivalry, but because they stood between two global superpowers. The Cold War never went hot between the U.S. and USSR because others bled in their place. Legacy. These proxy wars redrew borders, toppled governments, created refugee crises, and shaped modern conflicts we still see today. Many groups armed during the Cold War continued fighting long after the superpowers walked away. Conclusion. From Korea to Vietnam, the Cold War was not cold for those caught in the middle. It was fought through nations, not on behalf of them, turning local wars into global struggles for power. Which proxy conflict do you think changed history the most? Korea, Vietnam, or Angola? Tell me in the comments and subscribe for more Cold War explainers.